Hi, and welcome to Cracking the Cryptic. And today I'm going to talk about the importance of the definition in the cryptic crossword. And you can see my solve of today's Times crossword here, where slightly slow start, but got going fairly quickly about halfway through. So the importance of the definition is really to do with getting a fix on searching your mind for a relevant synonym that's going to fit. So the point I'm going to make first is it's much harder to cold solve, to solve a clue where you have no letters in it, than to think of a synonym where you have especially the starting letter or one letter somewhere in the word. The more percentage of letters you have in a word, the easier it is to limit the search for synonyms. So I've managed to solve a couple of clues here. 6 across was C exercises for extended stride, and C exercises really looked like wordplay. Took me a few seconds longer than it should to work out that C could be low, as in look at that, and exercises could be PE, and the extended stride could therefore be elope. And then 5 down was remote, the clue being inaccessible, some doctrine to me rates being sent up. And all of that wordage seemed to be hiding something. Being sent up was helpful, and some was a very key indicator of the hidden. So hidden in doctrine to me rates, if you send it upwards for the down clue, is remote, which can mean inaccessible. So they got me started, and then after that I was able to, a bit of a mistake there where I filled in apple pie at 3 down. Don't really know why, especially ace dish. It did look like the dish to me was a definition for a moment, and apple pie fitted 5-3 beginning with an A. That's exactly my point, is I'm searching all the time for something that's going to fit and trying to fill it in. The point I'm going to make is, if the clue was a quick crossword with just a definition and it said dish and it was 5-3 and began with A, I'd fill in apple pie with some confidence. And what you can see now in the top right corner is my solve of today's quick crossword, which is just definitions. Now I'm not showing you the clues, and that doesn't really matter. The point I'm trying to make is that if you just have the definition, as soon as you've got 1 or 2 and you've got some letters in the grid, although actually I have a go at all the acrosses first this time, but just the definition really narrows the search in the brain for a word that fits. And it's therefore much quicker, if that's what you're looking for, to do the quick crossword. So if in a cryptic crossword you can work out what the definition is in the clue, and it's always going to be at one end or the other, that will really give you a head start on getting the answer. And some of the examples of that are coming up. 12 across was quite an interesting one there, right? It says fining agent, one to stray with good girl. Now theoretically the definition there could be fining or fining agent or girl, maybe good girl, maybe even to stray with good girl. But I couldn't think of any way that fining agent could be used as wordplay. So without quite knowing what fining was, and without quite knowing what isinglass was, I know it's kind of a product that's used for something fairly specialized, and I had I with an S towards the end of the word, and it was fair, I could then parse the wordplay as giving I sin G lass. And finding the definition is absolutely the key to getting going once you have a few letters in the grid. So my key tip is find some wordplay to get 1 or 2 solved. There is always some easy wordplay somewhere. You may have to look at a few clues to find it. But once you have these clues solved, then you have some letters in the grid, and especially where they start words, that will really help steer your brain. So down here in the grid, now here I can see religious fellows at 25 across must be the definition, and it begins with B, and that looks like book at the start, which kind of proves that religious fellows would be the definition. I did want to write in brothers because they were the first religious fellows I could think of that would fit an 8-letter word beginning with B, but I couldn't see any way to prove that from the wordplay, so I delayed for once there, and was proved right, as by the time I'd got an R and an N at the end, it couldn't be brothers, and brethren became fairly obvious. There goes the R. So again, here we go again, 3-6 with an E there, and that's unexpected at the end of the clue. Eye opener occurred to me pretty quickly for that. There's some anagram fodder and a couple of things to put in it. It's fairly straightforward. Brethren. Now this had taken me a while, but fantasist or honoured lady had to be the definition, and D blank Y and then ending M blank R, daydreamer, was fairly straightforward. Now this was much harder. 16 down, driver has brawling vehicle. Because even though driver was probably the definition there, I didn't know the word cameleer immediately as a driver of camels, but finally once you think about it, it's okay. Now, as we get back up towards the top of the puzzle, there are a couple of confusing words. 9 across here was quite hard to finish. Bloom's partner shown round biblical site. And I was thinking, God, do I really need to know James Joyce and who Bloom's partner was? Was she called Molly? I'd thought about putting that in, but I didn't quite dare, and then the T proved that wasn't right. But I was really not considering that the definition was just bloom, which is what it turns out to be, and not the most normal meaning of bloom either, in my opinion. So when I finally get back to it with a T and an R in the word, I can see that it's to bloom could be to mature, which involves putting a mate, partner, round a biblical site. The classic crossword town you are, which is worth knowing and storing up. So there's today's lesson, that always look for the definition and let that focus your mind. It's very, very important. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Don't know why the Times site claimed I was only 99% complete when I was about to submit there. Luckily I didn't see that in time before hitting the submit bar, and then it turns out that I was fully solved. Bit of a glitch there. But thank you very much. Good fun. Hope to see you again soon, and thanks for watching.